Hey guys, I'm back in the PRS Archives looking around and make another video for you. So today we are going to feature the first guitars Mr. Paul Reed Smith ever built. So what we're looking at right here is number one. Obviously single cutaway body shape. It's got a badass bridge, two dog ear P90s. If you look really closely right here, there is a 1 stamped into the fretboard. Little snowflake inlays, reminiscent of early Martin. Nice wood truss rod cover there. Guessing just 2 volume controls. Let's flip this over. Back of the headstock. Schaller tuners. All mahogany. Typical strap button. Wood electronics plate. And a wooden jack plate as well. This guitar is well loved. You can see a lot of honest play wear here. I'm not sure who owned this, but when Paul was first starting out, he was building guitars for artists. He was not trying to be a collector. So he would build these things and he would sell them, and they would make their way out into the world and get played, toured, gigged, and well loved. We eventually got this one back, obviously, and now it's part of the PRS Archives, but again, here it is, very first guitar from Paul. And we also have guitar number 2. So you can see on this one, he has, let me show that up. There's a 2 stamped right there. You make that out. So this one's a little, I guess, simpler in the aspect that it has a single pickup. Still same badass style bridge. Looks like a real guard there. Starting to warp a little bit. Same style of inlays. This one gets a black headstock and a plastic truss rod cover. But again, this honest play wear. Grover tuners on this one. So I know this one was owned by Derek St. Holmes, who played with Ted Nugent for quite a few years, and it was sold, passed around many different people. I don't know if you can see the checking on that finish. Anyway, the guitar was sold several times. Eventually Howard Leese, who plays with Hart and is a good friend of Paul's, he saw the guitar, realized it was Paul's early work. He got it, gave it back to Paul, and Paul made a nice private stock guitar for Howard's daughter for her wedding. That was several years ago, but here it is. So again, number 1, Paul started with a single cut. He said the neck joint was a bit easier to do on a single cut. And number 2, a little more difficult with the double cutaway neck joint. As Paul likes to say, when people start playing guitar, or any musical instrument for that matter, when we start playing guitar, usually are playing covers of other people's songs. So when he first started making guitars, he was basically making covers of other people's instruments. Take into consideration he was 18 years old, a freshman in college when he built this. His teacher told him he'd give him full musical credit if he could build a professional grade instrument. I would say he succeeded. The neck actually feels awesome on this thing. So this is circa 1974. Paul was about 18 years old, and this one followed shortly after that. So for a young man to bring all this knowledge to the table of woodworking and finish and electronics and scale length and neck shape and everything else, obviously he's got something going on. Kid, I think you have a future in this. Anyway, it's number 1 and number 2. This is also a cool little tidbit, I think. This is the original case for this guitar. It's hand painted for him. He doesn't really know, or he wouldn't tell me. He told me I asked him who painted it. He said some hippie girl. So whoever that might be. Here's an early label from Virginia Avenue. That was the very first PRS factory. And the back, which I think is equally cool. But again, well loved, pretty awesome case. And there you have it. So someone requested that I do a series of these things, so I'll try to bust one out every once in a while whenever I find the extra time. But I figured might as well start at the beginning, and this is the beginning. Thanks for watching.